I don't know what world we would be in without that countdown to this.
We
Does
love
this
it.
show really need a countdown? I feel like we're just ready to go.
Listen,
I
we're
feel like
counting down to the most unlistenable podcast ever, or
this is
whatever
the
you said on
this is
Twitter.
this is the most unwatchable
Watchable.
podcast
Yeah.
That
in
slayed
the
us
world.
last. So Allison, full disclosure, Tyler and I were playing video games together last night. He was like, Beth, have you seen Allison's response to your tweet? And I was like, no, because my phone is to the side. And he and I were cracking.
I had two. First, I
know,
had
both of them
why?
were.
How's this not damn sexy? All of us in straitjackets with our pets around us and crazy hair, and then I'm like, a screenshot of me trying to figure out the nuts, whatever, during my
Internuts?
little show last week, and I just had.
I
to
was
share
in
it.
stitches. I thought it was so funny.
It was
Thank
so
you.
good. And the best part is Tyler, I don't think saw
Sure.
the picture. And so I was like, have you seen the photo she also tweeted? So he told me about one tweet and I told him about the other when we easily just could have seen both of them ourselves. But if
I
it
mean,
makes you
I
feel better,
tagged it. Just shows you
well, it's
what
a
Tyler
response to
pays
my
attention
tweet
to.
too.
Don't to me.
Well, it was funny. We had a great time. For those that have no idea what we're talking about, because it's like you just
can bring
walked
it
in
up.
the middle of a conversation. My apologies. I was a part of the RHAP Brant Steele Halloween like special thing on Monday where we all had to like act like whoever we were dressing up as in the Big Brother house, and we would be told kind of in the moment for somebody who was ran the simulation before and was the only person who knew what we were going to do with the veto and all that stuff. So that way, like, we'd get a message and we just say it out loud or whatever. So I was Nicole Franzel, because duh. And I had such a great time. It was a lot of fun. But I can't remember, in the middle of that, somebody had tweeted something about like the most like
Sexiest
sexiest
host or
podcast hosts about for something else. And I was like, when My Weekly Meltdown and RHAP are right there, and Allison's response to it was
Hold
incredible.
on, I'm going to bring it up. I wonder if you can see it really well. Hold on.
I'm actually realizing as I said that the Halloween Brant Steele had nothing to do with what that tweet, and I just thought for some reason it did. So I apologize. That wasn't me trying to like push another thing.
So shameless plug.
It's on the Brant Steele.
Is that it? Can you
So
see
like, I
it?
don't know if you
Yeah.
know, but I'm like a big deal podcaster, you know?
Could you imagine?
Listen, look,
I'm like
okay.
the
Yeah,
least
this is
big deal
perfect.
of the quote unquote big deals that are on
I'm
our
leaser of a deal than the two of you combined. Okay?
Beth, you're the biggest RHAP deal in my heart, if that makes you feel any better.
the biggest rap deal.
That's right.
Yes.
So
Yo.
Travis
I have a rap deal.
Kelsey and Jason
That's
Kelsey,
what it was.
they
That's
are
what it was.
the hottest podcasters. I guess they won that award. And Beth was like, how could this? We're right there. Tyler, me, and Allison were right there. How did this happen? And I tweeted one thing. And then 5 minutes later, I was like, wait a minute. No, this is so much better. So I was like, personally, I'm holding out for the world's most watchable podcast awards because we check all the boxes right here. We don't even have to have a Sarah. Just give it to me.
Yeah.
Just give it to me. And that picture of this was me during my solo show last week I did where I read Chick-fil-A children Bible jokes. If you
They
haven't
were
seen
really
it,
good.
go watch, because you know what? You know why the sailor couldn't finish the alphabet? Because he got lost at sea. That's what you're missing when you don't watch
Yeah.
a 7-minute short by Allison that took 2.5 hours to edit.
Well, do you know what a pirate's favorite letter is?
R.
People think it's R, but it's actually the C.
See, no, okay, so you just piggyback off this. Anyway,
I
we thought
know. That's why I was saying it.
this was funny. And look, 5 views to me is viral. So whatever.
Is that a screenshot just now?
Oh, hell no. This is after. This
I was
is
about
my.
to say, there ain't no way that's at 5 views now, because I've looked at it at least 5 times.
You know what's funny? By the way, I just want to say welcome to My Weekly Meltdown. This is our bullshit BS breakdown. Thank you for joining us. It's been a minute since 3 of us have been together. We have so
Yeah.
much to cover. And no, we're not the sexiest podcast on the planet. We're
Just in America.
we're sexier than sexy. I don't know what that would be.
Look at this face.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
Ooh, not horseshit.
Bullshit.
I think it's important to mention that you do have that bullshit button, which I know you've featured on the show already. But considering this is our first BS breakdown with the bullshit button, incredible. Just saying.
You
Love
know,
it.
I haven't used it 25 times, which is a miracle.
And it's in almost 6 minutes in. So,
But yeah, we've been taking some time off. We're gonna do a mid-season of Survivor here in a week or two, I think, and everybody's just kind of taking it easy. It's been kind of a crazy year for everyone. If you didn't know, and you've been living under a big fat boulder, I've taken some time because my beloved Finley is in this box
Aw.
now.
hi, Finley.
Yeah, and people no, that is he's
Oh, when you shake it, it's kind of like he's scratching after, taking a shit in the middle of the show.
you know what? I know. Why that doesn't
It's
look
like
good.
he's there.
No, he's
Stop doing that.
That sounds, I was just going to say, that looked a lot like Andy trying to cut the rope a few weeks ago when he's like, he was,
Yeah.
like, pumping.
I was having sex with my cat's
I missed that moment. I don't know what happened where I couldn't tell what was going on, but I had to turn to Tyler and I go, why is everyone laughing? He was like, because he was like humping as
He's
he was
putting his
cutting
hips
the rope.
into
And I was
it.
like, God damn it. I
Oh,
missed that.
Was that during the live event?
Yeah, it was good. So considering that Survivor is on tonight, we thought it'd be great for us to get together and just kind of update everybody on what's going on in our lives, have a moment to rant and that kind of thing, and just kind of check in with each other. So Allison, I've been waiting on bated breath all day. You have teased us this morning that you had a lot of shit to talk about.
Okay. Well, first, Jesus, I don't even know I haven't even really verbalized this story, but it happened to me last night. So after work hours, my son and daughter-in-law and my two grandsons, who Cloud will be 3 this coming Monday.
Oh my God.
I know. Oh my God, he's so funny. Anyway, so after work hours, I went over to they moved. They had a new apartment and it's so cute and I love it. It used to be a hotel.
Ooh.
Okay. It used to be a hotel. I know that sounds weird, but that's something that's not okay. Apartments in Memphis are all outside. You enter from the outside, you go through stairs. It's very the opposite, like how you guys are. That's how their apartment is. To me, that's a little foreign because it's different here. Okay, like it's not it's in a building. Yeah. But anyway, so the front, you have the double doors, right? Well, you can't get in unless the person buzzes you in. They come down and physically let you in, whatever. So I usually let them know when I get there and they come down and I go in with them. Well, I was there for a couple hours and I was letting the boys play with my phone because Archie, my youngest, is just, God loves to take selfies. I mean, this is a boy after my own heart. I mean, Jesus, So I was letting him play with the phone and I put it to the side. And then when it was time to go, it's always a show. Cloud and I are like this, okay? Yeah. We're like this. He doesn't like for me to leave. He's the only person that begs me to stay. I'm not used to that. Usually I'm
To be fair, Tyler and I have also begged you to stay.
I meant down here. Okay, like normally I'm pushed out the door. My purse is being tossed at me. It's like it doesn't matter.
Throw your keys at the
I didn't
car.
tell her to stay in New Orleans.
That's right. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Nobody kept me there.
I didn't tell her to stay in New Orleans.
I did.
I know.
Go ahead and go.
To be fair, we told you to stay until things seemed like it was serious, and then we were like, "Yeah, you should go." But that was if it was seriously just like a, it was only because she was homesick kind of thing. Then it would have been like, okay, we're gonna.
No, I meant like that night when I threw her in the cab.
Oh, that makes way more sense,
Yeah.
Tyler. I thought you were. I was like, yeah, well, like I think we both were like more than understanding that Alice had to go.
Y'all
No,
were
I would
great.
support that.
If I
I
were
meant that night at
homesick,
the-
if
at
it
the
were just
club.
because I was homesick, I would allow the mass quantities of shit. But no, my son was in the hospital.
Yeah, it was
Things were happening. But because like I said, when I cross state lines, everybody loses their shit. So anyway, I go in, I spend 2 hours with him, and Cloud he's crying, he's pulling on, and I'm just getting out the door. I get on the elevator. They live on the 5th floor. There's only 5 stories. I get out to the parking lot. I get in my car, and I heard my phone go off a couple of times while I was in there. I don't really check my phone that much when I'm playing with the boys. Plus, they had the phone, so I wasn't really thinking about it. So I went to check to see when I turned my car on, and my phone's not there. And I'm like, oh, shit. It's almost 7. It's already dark. I can't get in touch with Zoe. I thought maybe my phone would reach to my car and I could do it that way, but it was too far away. So I'm like, okay, shit.
Could you drive the car a little closer?
No,
Oh.
I wish I had thought of that, but I didn't. So I get out of the car and I go up to the box and I type in, to get them to ring. Well, it goes to my son's phone. It
Oh,
doesn't,
cool.
and he's at work.
Oh.
And his new job, he's not allowed to have his phone. Like it has to be in his law or something. So I'm like, oh shit, I can't even get in. So I'm standing there. I can't get in. Zoe's up there. She immediately noticed I left my phone, but she's got 2 little ones. Archie's phone is asleep. She can't come down and bring me the phone. Okay. Right. She just got Cloud to come off the roof. Okay. Because
she can't buzz.
She couldn't because it doesn't go to her phone. So
Weird. It was only to the phone and not to the unit at all.
Well, to the unit would have to be like a landline, and they don't have that. So it goes to my son's phone. Yeah. So see, they don't have a landline. And so I'm sitting there and I'm on the verge of tears because I'm thinking, okay, I could leave. They're 10 minutes from my house. I can go get my work phone and call. I could do something, but why would I mean, somebody's bound to come into this, somebody's bound to come in the building. And, first this one woman, and I'm using this word nicely, lady, okay, wouldn't let me in. Flat out. Would looked at the ground, was walking real fast because she saw me. I was just leaning up against the column with my arms crossed, and I was just like, hey, I'm so sorry. I said, I left my phone in 510 and I can't get in touch with him. She goes, use the box. And I said, yes, ma'am. I said, but I can't use the box because it's going to a phone and the person's at work and they can't check. I said, is there any way I could follow you? And she buzzes herself in real quick and goes in and pulls the door shut behind her. And I'm just like, okay, that you bitch. Anyway, it kind of made me feel a little good because I know they're safe. Nobody can come. I get it.
Yeah.
Then this guy.
But also, take a look at you.
Listen, I know I scream psycho, ex-girlfriend, current girlfriend, all of it. This woman could have a gun in her purse, although my purse was so tiny. I don't know what kind of cricket gun from Men in Black. I don't know. So I'm standing there, and this guy comes in, and he just totally, and I'm like, hi, sir. I'm so sorry. May I follow you in? I left my phone. In fact, goes in. It doesn't even look at me and shuts the door. And I'm like, I am so fucked right now. It's dark. This is a hotel that's kind of off the road. This is not, it's not in a bad place of town, but this is not where I want to be. So I see this car coming and they back in, they leave their headlights on and they sit there for a long time because I think she saw me. And her whole thing was probably like, I don't want to let this bitch is going to let. I'm sure this is something that happens a lot.
Well, I'll even say just from a New York standpoint, I don't hold the door for people even unless I know they're in my building and that kind of thing. So I understand where they're coming
that's why
from.
I wasn't upset. That's why I was pissed at myself. I was on the verge of tears and I had offered to both people that it's 5 and I had even said to the lady, can you, what floor do you live? Can you let 510 know? And she's just like, call the box. It's just total bitch. And he was just like, I don't know. The guy
that just seems like such a stupid buzzer system because normally it's hooked up not to like a landline or a phone. It's just, I mean, you can normally nowadays hook it up to your phone, but it should be just like right
Memphis.
to the thing. That's so weird.
I'm in Memphis.
I know.
So
It's just frustrating.
the guy I tried. See, I am just sitting here in my brain going, I don't think that guy heard me because maybe he's deaf or something. Maybe he's got, maybe he just didn't hear me. Okay. But that's why I was trying to be like, not to, girl, I was crying. I was sitting there. I did that thing where you squat and you're just pissed and I'm sitting there squat. I'm up against the pole. I'm like, oh my fucking God, I can't believe this. This is 30 minutes of this shit. And finally this lady comes walking up. She's got bags. Oh, she's going to need help with that.
Is this
door.
from the car that had been sitting there
Yes,
for a while? Okay.
She was on the phone. Now, this was like one of two things. She's either on the phone or she's fake phoning me or whatever you want to call it. So I didn't care. I was going to interrupt her. And this woman, this nice lady, I said, ma'am, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I said, I left my phone in apartment 510 and I can't get them on the box. I've tried. I said, I understand if you don't feel comfortable, you can go with me. You can follow me. It is my daughter-in-law and my 2 little grandsons are up there and she can't leave them to bring, I know that's what's going on. And she's just kind of paused and she was like, yeah, come on, you're fine. And so we got in the elevator and I pushed 5 and I said, what floor? I said, do you want to go with me? Or she's like, girl, you're fine. I just go to 2. And I'm like, seriously, you can go. She's like, no, you're fine. And I ended up going to the minute I opened the door, Zoe's got, here's your phone. It was just this whole, like, I felt good that they were safe, but I felt like I looked like a crazy ex. I felt like they could smell. I am a crazy ex, by the way. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of men out there watching. I'm not sure. I wouldn't let you in. I won't let you in my car. It was seriously, I'm not surprised. So, but that was what happened to me. And I'm like, and you have that moment, like, I grew up without phones. Okay. I grew up in a time without this shit. And it hit me at 47 years old. I'm completely helpless. And I am like, I can't function without this damn phone.
Yeah.
I was about to call apartment 509 and 8. I was going to try to get whoever I could. I didn't know what to do.
Believe me, all the delivery people do that to me. All I do all day long is buzz in FedEx, UPS, and Amazon people all day long.
Girl,
drives me
try
crazy.
being on the first floor.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm on like the
all
second
time.
floor, but nobody on the second floor works from home, so they go A, B for 3, and my next door neighbor doesn't, so I'm the first one they get to. But you're completely right, Tyler. What I wonder, Allison, is why doesn't it go to Zoe's phone if she's the one who's homeless?
That got changed today.
I was about to say.
And I was like,
that's a good thing.
I was talking to Chris. I said, I don't understand why people don't let me in. And he's like, I'm sorry, Allison, but you got that crazy little white girl look to you that just screams, I'm going to do something nuts. He goes, and personally, I know you. I know. He's like, I probably wouldn't let you in either. And I'm like, well, you guys, okay, tell me what the etiquette is. What do I say? Like, if you guys saw me, like, what would you say to me? I mean, I get you got to be polite, but would you ignore me to my face?
I wouldn't ignore you.
I would acknowledge your existence. Like, I think that's like a little too much.
One of the things that I would do personally, and this is because I am too much of a problem solver kind of person, is instead of just flat out letting you in, I would be like, are they up there right now? Do you know? And then I would go up to them and say, hi, I'm your neighbor. There's somebody downstairs who's looking to come in because she's saying she lost a phone. And if Zoe was like, yeah, please let her in, then I would either let her in, or if Zoe would trust me with the phone, I'd bring it downstairs. But I'm also not going to ask for the phone because that sounds sketchy as hell. Even if it clearly you had asked for it, but there's no guarantee it's going to come down to you. So that would be a situation where I would just take a couple extra minutes out of my day and go down or go up, knock on the door, say something, and come back down, especially because we're in the same building. I don't care. I like knowing a few people in my building.
Yeah.
I like knowing who I live around. It helps from a variety of standpoints. I was able to connect with the neighbors across the hall because now I sit back and we watch each other's apartments when we're gone. They water my plants. I go water their plants. Like, it's a whole thing, right? So that's nice. We get each other's packages because let me tell you something else that's going on. This is legitimately what is happening. I don't know if it happens to you, Tyler, or not, but we keep getting so many packages stolen, like within
Oh my God.
moments sometimes of them being delivered. And our theory, and we've seen this come true a couple of times, is that it's food delivery people, not people in the building. So when you call an Uber Eats person in, or Seamless or Postmates or whatever, and they come in, oftentimes now that we're seeing is if packages aren't flat out stolen, they're being ripped open a little bit to see what's inside of them. So
Is it Uber Eats or DoorDash?
all of them.
You know what? I bet that's what happened to the shit I sent you. I hope whoever stole the birthday card with the cat flipping the bird, enjoyed
it's
that
over
card
here.
they got.
I have that.
I had to send it twice. Remember?
Oh, well, no, that was because Amazon sent me the wrong shit. That
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
because something got stolen.
It would have been fun.
But no, but I had back in January, I had something that was literally worth $1,500 stolen. I had $1,500 worth of Pokemon cards that I had opened
Oh, gosh,
over
I remember that.
$150.
That.
And
That's crazy.
the guy that I work through was like, I have an insurance policy. You will get all of your shit back.
Good.
So I got everything that I needed, but it was at his cost. And he's a small business owner. So I'm like, I fucking hate it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was not going to just accept like, oh, that sucks. Sorry. I wanted my cards. But it, like, I don't know, like that kind of shit happens all the time. That drives me fucking crazy. And there's so many things with online shopping and delivery and that kind of thing that we haven't figured out how to make it completely safe, with people stealing packages and all that kind of shit. People steal off of doorsteps. People steal. What the fuck was up with this? I had somebody who left a package outside
Your door?
on the street because they couldn't get into somebody. I'm like, that's not what you do, UPS. Thankfully, well, not so thankfully. I mean, it was actually
FedEx because they hate you.
FedEx is actually fine when they deliver stuff to me. It's just we have a beef when it comes to international shipping.
Yeah.
But no, a UPS person left my medications on the sidewalk like a month ago.
That's crazy.
I didn't get them. Isn't that so weird? And they took a picture of it on the ground on the fucking street. And
That drives
whoever
me nuts.
got that lucked out because of all the medications, they got my Adderall. So it was a
They hit a
controlled
gold
fucking
mine with
substance.
you, Beth.
They hit a fucking gold mine. 90 fucking days of 30 milligram Adderall. Like they fucking hit the gold mine. And so that sucked. I had to like show all this proof to like my pharmacy provider and like all that shit. It was awful. But anyway.
Is there a camera? Can you get like a Wyze camera, like a WYZE? That's what we have. Get one of those cameras and just put it on the delivery, and maybe everyone in the building or whoever chips in, and you guys all have the link to it and can watch it if something happens.
Well, so I think that you can't do that for like a non-co-op kind of building in New York City. I think it can only go to the building owner. So if you're in a co-op, everybody owns a part of the building so that everybody could have access to that. This is what I'm trying to understand.
That's what we have that.
Yeah. So I don't live in a co-op. So it would still be through my family. And so they're definitely right now, they're in the process of looking at, what can they do? And we've done some things that I don't feel comfortable saying publicly online in the middle of thing, but we're working in the right direction. But it's fucking annoying. And like, I definitely, the couple of times they have caught whoever has stolen stuff both of the times have been delivery drivers for food. So,
Man, that's nuts.
I believe it.
I
almost want to make a building policy that's like, unless absolutely necessary, please go down and meet people at the front door, and like instead of letting them into the building.
See, that makes me crazy because here in this where I am, they come to my front door. I just get it myself. But so many people live in the apartments like you guys do. It's like, when you DoorDash something, how does that work? They call you and
they buzz. I let them in, and then they come up and they drop off the food at my apartment. But
okay, so I don't know if they're allowed to do that. They are allowed.
Oh yeah, that's what most people do. But what I'm saying is that I wonder if we're going to get to the point where my cousin and my family are basically going to say, unless you really need to because you can't physically go down or, for other reasons, like we're going to try to institute this because this is what we're seeing the problem being. And I know enough people are fed up with how many packages have been stolen that the inconvenience of having to take an elevator downstairs, pick up your food and go back up within a minute is like, I think we can all stand that. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're up on the 6th floor. Oh my gosh, it took a minute and a half. Like it's not a long time at all. And I am the queen of ordering takeout. So if I'm saying, just take the fucking stairs, whatever, and get there, it's no big deal. But
I guess I take for granted that my DoorDash instructions are ring the doorbell, put the food down, and leave.
But if you hadn't picked up your packages off of your doorstep yet, I mean, you're still at risk for the same kind of shit,
Now, this is true where I used to live, but now if somebody wanted to steal my packages, they would have to go out of their way to come all the way down to the end of my cove, okay, and steal my shit. And I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on. Yeah. What about you, Tyler? You look like you're just
Tyler,
thrilled to be here tonight.
He's distracted and working.
Thinking about that new MacBook?
I did buy a new MacBook Pro today, which is very exciting. It's going to be such a workhorse. So like my laptop currently is like 3 years old and like it still works great, but like there are new like AI features integrated in Adobe Lightroom, which is where I edit like all my photos and stuff. And the processing that it takes to use these like AI features just takes a while. Like removing like little like spots on the ground, like things like that. It has to compute all of that rather than just like waving a magic wand, right? So I feel like I'm spending so much time editing, like waiting for this like AI feature to finish up before I go to the next one. So it's a lot of like clicking a lot, sending it through, waiting like 5 minutes while I'm like doing something else, and then on to the next photo once it finishes. And I feel like this new computer is just gonna like take out so much of that time. And that's what I need right now is like more efficiency in my time. I've really learned a lot this year in terms of like now that my season is winding down. My last wedding of the year is this Saturday, and I'm very excited to be done with my 2024 season because damn, I worked so much and I traveled so much this year.
When did it start? When does your season start?
I would say like between April and just weddings. Yeah, of course I shoot like proposals and engagement sessions like all throughout the year, but like the main like beef of my work is like April through like early November. And I gotta say, like I think I took on like too much work this year, and I'm looking to scale back a little bit because I am just like working like this time of year. I just have no
free time.
like time for myself. Like I just took my first workout class in over a month, I would say probably. And I just like have no time for myself. Like I'm always doing something, always like editing, always like trying to keep up with this like giant backlog of editing I have and stuff. And I don't know, it felt a little overwhelming this year. And I don't think I've ever felt like that before. Like I've had a good grasp like mentally.
I'm going to argue that we had the same exact conversation last fall into December.
It feels worse this year.
I know, but I think what happened was you went, I'm going to not do weddings in December. So therefore, I'm doing lighter stuff. But actually what you ended up doing was packing in more weddings, not in the December time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think, I bet that, I mean, you know better than we do. But I think that the real honest to God thing, and I've said this how many times, is that Tyler is one of the best fucking wedding photographers you can ask for out there in the world. I don't just say that because he is like one of my best friends in the world. I don't say that because of that. I say that with pride because of that.
If he sucked, we'd tell him.
Oh yeah. We'd be like, honey, have you thought about maybe not this for a career? Have you thought about this for a hobby? But this, like, genuinely, I think based off of what I know about you, I don't know too many, business details and such. I am a huge supporter of you raising your rates and cutting down on certain things. So raising your rates for proposals and engagements in particular, I think, because they're the ones that fill up your like, oh, I got to go meet someone on this
Yeah.
random day, blah, 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 blah. And that's what cuts into your productivity to be able to do your bigger things like editing for big weddings and such, right? So I'm a big proponent of let's be looking at how can we essentially make the same profit as this year, but cutting down on labor, and you are worth every penny that people hire you for, and then some. So, and I know that your couples have been, for the most part, incredible to you, but this is a really, really busy time of year, and so it's tough, and I get it. And so I'm sitting back being like, I don't know, I just think the world of Tyler, and I think that he should get that coin because he deserves it.
Well,
Whenever-
thank you. I appreciate
whenever
that.
Tyler
Sorry, go ahead. Allison.
compliments one of my pictures, like when you told me the other day, it was good lighting in a picture.
What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry.
That was my hydro flask.
Excuse me.
I thought it was somebody.
Moving that over
I thought
to
it was a
another
man with a deep voice who went, "Hey," like that.
I thought Tyler farted.
I was gonna say there's no deep voice in this household.
I was just gonna, yeah. I was like, Sora? No.
I'm a tenor one for life. But yeah, I don't know. I just like now that my season's winding down, like I just feel like the amount of work that I've been doing for the past year or two is just not feasible long term because I'm really feeling like burnout, and I really enjoy what I do. I just have no time here at home. You know, we even had to like nix like covering Survivor because like that's just like how damn like overworked I am right now. Just feel like every day I'm like shooting or like traveling or like just away from here getting editing done, and I still like have a very fast like delivery time compared to other photographers. But I don't know, I need to like rethink a few things in my process starting like next month when I have some time to like really think about it. So I don't know, just zooming out in terms of what's next for Tyler and Scratch Studios. Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard. It's very rewarding to be by yourself and doing your own thing. And I understand that like the privilege I have to be this like successful. I'm very grateful for the amount of work I have and how successful Scratch Studios has been and stuff like that. And getting to travel the world and like shoot weddings and like all these amazing cool experiences and shooting in like the best like most competitive city in the world and being like not in the world but like in the US and being successful at it.
Arguably the world too.
Yeah. So I understand I have a lot to be grateful for. I just need to like take care of me a little bit better because this time of year I'm just like running totally on empty, and Dunkin' Donuts sparked energy drinks, which are delicious. But yeah, I don't know. Something's got to give.
For sure. And it's hard to when you work by yourself because you don't really have anybody. I mean, I know that you would talk to Timmy and us and that kind of thing, but it's not like you have anybody that you're working with to be able to go, what do you think about this? And like gauge things from people who are involved with the work, right? Who have a more like, I hate to say it like this because it doesn't make sense, but like institutional knowledge or field knowledge and that kind of thing.
Yes.
And so like the amount of times I give unsolicited business advice to Tyler, like maybe you should consider putting this in a contract, or have you decided on doing blah, 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 blah. And like
I need that.
But like the thing is, and that's the thing, I know that you'd be like the type of person to be like, Beth, shut up. I don't care about that. But I genuinely think that you are at such an incredible turning point to see even farther how you can take this, that you owe it to yourself and your business to be looking at how can we maximize time and efficiency while not letting go of profit. And I think you're in a really desirable situation where people want you. So that's
it's also tricky because sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think the trickiest part would be making sure that you're accessible to people of all different, identities and backgrounds, which don't offer the same kind of maybe socioeconomic background to be able to afford. So I'm not necessarily saying that you sit back and go, I'm going to be doing blah. But I think that there's some competitive things, and I have ideas that I don't want to say on air, but not that you need to listen to me, but just in case.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, if you ever
So
need
yeah,
me
so
to
that's
wrangle your
what's
customer service, just let me know because I will.
Yeah.
I'll
no.
call
I
somebody.
one
I don't
thing I
care.
can do. I can write a damn good email. Like I just want to like thank my years at Apple for teaching me like such wonderful customer service because it's really translated into something that I'm very good at handling with like people and their requests and especially like the stresses on wedding days that always happen. Yeah, I don't know. I just need to like rethink a few things now that like I've had a few years of success under my belt and that voice of like is this going to be like my last successful year, like is this it, like I feel like that voice is fading away now that like I have a pattern of like success year after year after year.
And you're not competing with a
It's just
global
so
pandemic.
hard like when you're no, that's true. Very grateful that like not dealing with that anymore either. So yeah, so like long story short, like that's taking over my life right now. Wedding planning is going great as well. Everything's like pretty much done except for like the small stuff. I can't wait to have you guys there for the wedding. I'm so excited for that.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
Uh,
Allison and I are gonna go to a Yankees game.
so
It's gonna be great.
speaking of which, hold on a second.
Is this a seventh inning stretch here?
Girl, how about them Yankees?
How about them Yankee fans who need to be banned from every damn fucking ballpark and the whole that was unbelievably awful. For those that don't know what we're talking
I
about.
love it.
What happened? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Last
I don't know
night
if
in
you
game 4 of the World Series, the Dodgers are up 3-0. You need to win 4 games. And we're at Yankee Stadium for the second game, right? At
Yeah,
Yankee
this was
Stadium?
the third game. This was, but the first one in New York.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay.
So, Yankee fans who are on the foul line, on the first base foul line, I think, somebody on the Yankees hit a foul ball, and the rule always has been that if an outfielder or any part of the defensive team catches a ball, even if it's like going into the stands or something, it counts as a caught ball and you're
Yeah,
out. That's
you're
always
out.
been the case, right? However, they try to tell people like, hey, if it's a catchable ball, you should not be interfering with the players. And of course, people are like, a ball, I'm excited. Now, what happened last night was not like an innocent, oh, I want to go for the ball. The Dodgers player, I forgot what his name is, it begins with an M, but he was up and his arm was up here and he had the ball in his glove, and one Yankee fan grabbed his wrist and another one pried open
I
the
missed
glove.
This happened last night.
Yes, grabbed the ball out of it, and they still ruled it an out. And then they banned those two like everybody escorted, like security immediately came and escorted them out and banned them for life, as they should be. But I'll be honest, he very well could have broken a fucking wrist or forearm
Yeah,
the way
that's
that they
real-
did that. If I were that baseball player, I would absolutely be suing the shit out of those two.
I totally missed that
Okay, but-
because I came in around the third inning, and I don't know if that happened before, but I do remember he went and he caught another one, and they were making comments about, well, this time no one interfered. So I guess that's what's that. Now the fans I was talking about were the ones towards the end of the game who were drunk in the stands, showering each other in beer and popcorn. And I thought, if I were in New York City right now, I'd be so freaking excited. I'd be in the middle of that. Don't put any beer in my mouth. I'm alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it'd just be great.
No, and that's fine because the Yankees ended up winning the game very handedly, which was great because now we're still alive. But the Yankees have to win every single game
Order
from here
11.
on out in order to win. Otherwise, the Dodgers only have to win one more game. But the whole
So
point
that
being,
fan grabbing the ball did not change the outcome of the game. Like they were far enough
No, 'cause he already
ahead
had
that
it.
like
he already had it in the glove, and they were able to do a rewind to see that he very well was in control of it, and it purely was one fan was ripping open his glove like this to grab the ball, and another fan had literally, now if your wrist is like this because your hand is there, one fan had grabbed his wrist like this and was pushing it down, like. And it's not like that guy was up like in the air and then is getting, is kind of being held there for a second. Like that is not safe for anybody. And the two fans that were doing it were like, oh, fuck yeah. Like they were biggest pieces of shit. Like, honestly, that is not like, listen, I am a Yankees fan. I've always been a Yankees fan. I fucking hate this aspect of Yankees and Red Sox and any big franchise is that you have absolute assholes who have no regard for the game. And it was just absolutely stupid. But, and as Rory just said, that's mental illness.
That is insanity. I would have thrown
Yeah,
a punch. I would
Allison,
have been like, you better fucking let go of me.
Allison, you should look it up afterwards. It's
I
insane.
can't believe I missed
Well,
it. Go ahead.
I remember this story on a podcast like a few weeks ago about maybe it was in like the 80s or 90s where like a similar situation happened where like a guy in the stand like reached down and grabbed the ball when they were like jumping up. And
This happens
so
all the time.
Yes,
That-
but like it was a very important game, and the
Yes.
call that the ref made, like of it being a home run because the person like caught it or whatever, caused like that team to lose.
Yeah.
Like
I
the
know what you're
finals or
talking
something.
about. That was a Red Sox game. That was before
Yeah.
they won their first World Series in like 87 years. That guy's life was completely
Yes.
ruined.
Yes,
And
yeah.
Ben Stiller
that-
was working on a film based on, and I don't think it ever got made.
There's a
but
documentary about this guy. Like I think that's that's how I heard
Yeah.
about this story because they said that like his life was totally ruined. He could not go out in public anywhere, and he like it was such a split moment decision. You know, you're like a hyped up fan. You see the ball, you're gonna like reach for it,
Yeah.
and he was like super excited to hold it up in the air, and then security literally had to escort him out because people were threatening to like.
Oh
commit
yeah.
violence on him.
So this is what you're talking about something that I think it happened in the early 2000s.
Mhm.
If I remember correctly. I didn't think it was the Red Sox. I thought it was like
Crazy.
the Blue Jays or the
I don't know.
Mariners or something like
I
that.
think it was the Red Sox or a team.
But the
I
whole
swear-
point was that it
Yeah.
literally ruined their chances.
Oh, and they were this close.
It
were
changed
so
like
close.
the outcome. Yeah.
It changed the outcome of the game that's a situation, and it was the home team. Like it
Put a
wasn't like
rip
you
in
know what I
the
mean.
space-time
Like
continuum.
it's-
It was insane.
it's kind of an unspoken rule that if you go to a baseball game, if the home team is on defense, don't touch the damn ball unless it's
Allison
rolling
ain't
in front of you.
No foul balls.
Because that
Yeah.
exact thing is going to happen. If a fan catches it before, even if the person could get it, but the fan gets it first, home run. That's always been the case. So if your team's the one on the field, not the one batting, you don't want to mess with it. And he just got excited because he was like, "Oh my God, a ball. This is so cool. It's a big playoff game." And
Yeah.
just completely ruined it.
And
So that
thank-
happens
crazy.
more often than you think.
Oh God! Thank Jesus, the Lord, my Savior, for the advancement in instant replays, because these umpires last night were sniffing the white baselines as if it were cocaine. I'm serious. What was every freaking call was almost overturned last night.
Well, that's-
Every single one. We had to stop, rewind the tape. What is
And that's-
happening?
And for a long time, the MLB didn't utilize replay for most things because it's already such a long, slow game that they didn't want to be like, well, we got to start and look at this. So every year they've come up with like one other niche rule as to when you can. So if it's like, if it's a foul versus a fan, that's a unique situation where they can look at a replay. But if it was clearly like did it touch the line or not, like those were things that they wouldn't do until like the last year or two. Like I mean,
yeah.
that's probably not true. It's probably been years, but still.
And Beth, it's not like it's the 80s and 70s and or the 70s and we're rewinding a beta tape and we got to wait. I mean, this is digital shit. This should take 2 gosh damn seconds to do. And it's just funny that the first base umpire last night just kept out, safe. And it was like, make up your gosh damn mind, dude. What is happening right now? And first of all, I just want to say I'm glad that the Yankees finally showed up to the World Series because we've been doing this for 4 days. And this is the
You're
third
telling
game.
me. I didn't even watch the game.
Oh my
because
God.
I can't. But other than that,
It was a bloodbath. Game one, the Dodgers dominated. Game two, the Dodgers dominated. Game three, the Dodgers. I'm sitting here. I didn't even tune into the beginning of game four because I was like, I got other things. I literally can watch paint dry.
That's what came out to play last night. Lots of hits, and that's
and it's just nonstop. That grand slam by Volpe, 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 Volpe. I don't know. Anyway, the guy's 23 years old. I'm old enough to be his mother. Anyway, and he hit this grand slam, and it opened everything open. The only thing that worries me about us completely demolishing the Dodgers, who have been extremely cocky, in my opinion, the last 3 games, got served last night. And I will take that to my grave, and I will fight a bitch. So please watch your comments, because I got a lot to say. Yes, it was Anthony Volpe. Volpe? Okay, I'm probably saying it wrong.
I think it's Volpe.
Volpe. Just cutest little thing I've ever seen while he's 23 years old. I just want to pinch his cheeks in his butt. But anyway, grand slam, the game wide open. The only thing that worries me is we're going to play tonight. We have forced a game 5, and we're going to just suck balls.
No, we're not.
I just pray to God we don't. I just pray to God we don't.
I'm not going to look or pay attention, so they're going to win. Because I'm going to watch Survivor, and I'm going to
don't watch, Beth, please.
You're welcome. I have long figured out that I am literally the problem for like anything. If Donald Trump wins on Tuesday, it's because I went and saw Mozart's Requiem this past weekend. Like it's random shit like that. Because in 2016, I was performing Mozart's Requiem. I was the alto soloist for our concert, and our dress rehearsal was on Election Tuesday. And as we were sitting there rehearsing Mozart's Requiem, every time there was a pause, we were looking at our phones and just watching the results come in. So like we didn't leave dress rehearsal until 10 p.m., but it was over by that time in 2016. And so it literally felt like we were singing a Requiem for the country. This past weekend, I go, haha, I'm not performing it this time. I've never seen it live. I so desperately want to go. So I went and saw it with my friend Brian, and we went and watched, and it was incredible. And all I could sit there and think of was, if Trump fucking wins, I'm literally never, ever going to see this ever performed in an election year, a week and a half before an election, or on election night, or anything. Ever again, ever. That's even if we have an election after Trump, because we're just going to go into full.
I was going to say that.
I really don't remember. I was actually trying to remember how I found out Trump won in 2016. I think I was really tired and went to bed early. And Chris, my husband, texted me, and he goes, "He did it. Trump won." He's like, "I can't believe it." And I was like, "No shit." That was my only 2 words I said were, "No shit."
I was in the office the next day, literally weeping all day. I was crying all day long. And I'll
never forget, like I was on the subway and like the next morning headed to work at Apple, and like just the eeriness of like everybody collectively, like the energy on the subway was so like, I'll never forget that energy, and it's not going to happen.
It's going to be crazy. Can I just give some unsolicited advice to everyone out there about this coming Tuesday voting and whatnot? This is just me. And look, here's the thing. 50% are going to be upset and 50% are going to be happy. Okay. Of the United States. I mean, if who you want to win wins, please be humble. If the person that you want to win loses, let's be humble. Let's do the opposite of what everybody expects. Let's not storm capitals. Let's not burn the streets.
Let's not set ballot boxes on fire or be like Virginia and wipe, what was it, 1,900 or 1,000 or something like that, voter registrations a week before because they're concerned about the legality of this, which is now, that is, in my opinion, the Supreme Court justice voting in favor of voter suppression, but whatever. This kind of stuff is really, really important. And I would argue, if you can't fathom the idea of voting for Harris and you're a Republican, for example, and Trump is really driving you crazy, I beg for you to consider a couple of different things. One, who is the candidate who is genuinely telling you what they stand for and what they're going to do? Because one is not doing that and is still going to get a lot of votes, number one. Number two, who do you think is genuinely trying to work on behalf of all Americans, even those that don't agree with them? And who is somebody that is genuinely trying to incite violence against people who don't agree with them? Do you think that should be the leader of our country, the leader of our democracy, and what this country stands for freedom and protections? Number three, who is the person, even if you dislike both, because I'll tell you straight up, I don't like either of one of them personally. I like a
I'm
lot
in
of
the same boat.
achievements of Kamala. I really like Tim Walz, really can't stand JD Vance. And I know I'm biased as hell telling you all this, but I'm asking everybody who just happens to be undecided or trying to get themselves to vote for Kamala because they can't vote for Trump, but they're having a hard time coming to that. When you were voting for president, you were voting for one branch of government. In this situation, whoever is voted president next is going to absolutely determine what our country will go through for the next 20 to 30 years, because they're likely going to be replacing at least one, if not two, Supreme Court justices. If it goes to the right, we will literally never have the rights and individual freedoms that haven't been codified already, which are not many of them. And number two, for the people who are looking at Palestine, it won't exist after the Trump administration. They literally want to help exterminate because there's so many monetary incentives for people who are in the positions to support Israel as is right now. The best you're going to get is a two-state solution at this point, and Kamala is actively saying that she wants to work for that. Okay, I know that's not exactly what every pro-Palestine person is. I consider myself pro-Palestine, but I also understand that there are many aspects of this that are complicated and convoluted. One party is trying to protect you and your freedoms here so that we can all have a voice to protect people abroad. The other party wants to shut down anybody of difference here and obliterate people like Ukrainians and Palestinians. They are not the same. As much as we want to pretend like they are, I get it. Democrats and Republicans do nothing but feed off of money and rip off our citizens and people in the world. I fucking get it. But you know what I also get? That one party is significantly more dedicated to protecting your individual freedom, regardless of whatever your identity is, than the other. And that is what is at stake. That is what is at stake, not just for this year and next year, for the next 20 to 30 years.
Yeah,
so
and I want to
please
point out,
go with that.
yeah, I just want to point out real quick. I saw a couple of ads that bothered me, and just because someone identifies as they and them does not mean that they are transgender or any different. Some people identify differently than you, and that does not mean they fit into a category. So don't believe. Look, here's the thing. I just want people to be respectful to one another and I'm going to tell you real quick, a quick story. In 2016, I was working for this chemical company, okay? And it was a tight-knit group in this little building. And I had only been there a year, and I was kind of the odd man out when it came to, I didn't discuss politics and religion. I kept that to myself. Well, the president, or he wasn't the owner's son who ran the place was a very flamboyant man who was obsessed with Trump, okay? And he talked about Trump all the time. You'd go just did it, and I kept my mouth shut. And the girl that I worked with and I was really good friends with, she and I were on different sides of the spectrum, Republican, all of it. We were both completely separate on who we were voting for. And we never discussed it, but I never judged her. She never judged me. I love her to this day. I have nothing against her. But the thing about it was, when that man was walking around after Trump won, he made it a point to come to my cubicle and give me personal shit when I'd never not once opened my mouth. And that girl who voted opposite came over and defended me and said, hey, we get it. But she's never said, just leave her alone. She's never said anything. She's never made a big deal. And I never did. And it was very passive aggressive. Like, don't do that to somebody.
Yeah.
If Harris wins on Tuesday, don't go fucking up to a Trump person and start shit.
No.
And vice versa. Don't do that.
Just for
leave
two
it alone.
reasons. One,
Yeah, just leave it alone.
One is proven to be more violent when they don't
Yeah,
win than
just
the
leave
other.
it alone, man. What's done
So
is
you don't know
done.
what you're going to do. But
True.
thank you for saying that, Allison, because genuinely, I had a similar situation where my supervisor in 2016 was really excited by the idea of voting for Trump and voted for Trump, and genuinely had all the hope in the world that he would be better than what and I don't know how she's voting this time. I really don't. But she and I have had many, many conversations where we've been able to share our perspectives respectfully.
Mhm.
And I have been able to help change her perspective on a couple of things. But that said, you just have to be respectful at the end of the day. Now, I'm not saying that you should be always respectful in the face of people who are ultimately trying to literally ruin your life. There's a difference of opinion on, like everybody says, on pizza toppings versus, it's not a difference of opinion.
Personally, I like pineapple on a pizza. I don't give a shit.
Fine. That doesn't affect anybody. But when you're talking about things that affect people's lives and the ability to be free and who they are in this country, that is no longer a difference of an opinion. That's a difference of morals and ethics. That is not an opinion. That is a difference of moral and ethics. And for anybody who claims to be pro-family, pro-freedom, pro what our country was founded upon, they're pro-Jesus, I beg you, please find me anything that Jesus is quoted as to have said throughout all of the New Testament that makes you think that he would be in cahoots with Trump. That Trump, as a person, the way he talks about people is Jesus-like. He's not like Christ at all.
God,
And
are
anybody who's
people really comparing him to Jesus? Because
often
Oh, yeah.
what I'm
crazy.
seeing is a lot of Christian fundamentalists who are basically talking about Trump as if he is the second Jesus, are saying that he's the most Christian president we've ever had.
See, I
And-
find that insulting because I am a
Absolutely.
Christian and I don't. The flock that I run with does not do that at all. I mean, that is.
I don't get how
not-
you can be a Christian and vote for somebody who says they could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it.
It's-
Or say that you
grabbing
can grab
somebody
women
by the pussy.
by the pussy,
Yeah.
or making fun
Yeah.
of a mentally handicapped person physically in front of everybody. And that was just in 2016. We have had 10 years, essentially, of this fucking bullshit, of this man just, regardless if you agree with him or not, all he has done is further divide our country. Do you not see that? Do you not see that people so vehemently despise what he is saying because of how he makes people feel?
I feel
Despite
like
his policies.
I feel like honestly, people have always been this way. They're looking for a catalyst to behave this way. I think that he makes it okay for certain people to act out. I think people are going to do what they're going to do. I just hope that on Tuesday and the following day, Wednesday, that we are all still brothers and sisters and we all still can be respectful to one another and understand that as the person that I am, I have already accepted the outcome no matter what it is on Tuesday, because I know that there's a plan and I have to trust the real person in charge, and it ain't Harris and it ain't Trump. We may not like it, and I'm not getting into Christianity, but sometimes, and it comes with life, you just got to accept things and just pray for a bigger change and trust the process. And I don't want anyone to hate or be hateful and ugly and attack others. It's not worth it. If somebody wants to come up to you and spit in your face because Trump won, you know what? Offer them your other cheek, because do the opposite of what people expect you to do. Because what's going to happen is if Trump wins, they're going to expect a lot of lunacy. They're going to expect Democrats and everyone else to act nuts, vice versa. And my dream for everyone, do the opposite of what's expected of you, because you're just proving them right. We sometimes tend to act like the people we protest against when things don't go our way. And I don't want that for anybody. It's not worth it. You're going to jail, prison, all of it. It ain't worth it. Don't follow the devil into hell. Because once you get there, you're going to be on fire and you ain't going to like it. Because who's in prison from January 6th? Trump didn't go to prison.
Nope.
For that.
A lot of his followers did, though.
Yeah. So just really think. Don't be impulsive. If you're angry, happy, either one, just be humble. That's
if you are going to demonstrate, do so peacefully. And also, please, please, please be safe. If you start to see that things are about to kick off, please get yourself in a safe situation. I say this to everybody. But with all of that said, let's wrap up on a happier note. Yeah. And let's just quickly give people, just like, as Survivor is starting right now, who do you think is right now going to win the season?
Genevieve. And I will tell you, I called it on the first episode when everybody was like, oh, Genevieve, she's going to be like a pre-merge boot. She didn't have a single confessional in the first episode. Who is she? And I tweeted saying she's the next Kim Spradlin. And look at her now. She has such winner's energy about her. And I love Saul too. Like, Saul is such a sexy man to me because he is so like quietly confident and not like, I feel like the opposite of Rome.
He's very grounded.
Yes. Yeah. And I just strive to be like that grounded and that like confident and that like, I don't know, just like a natural like leader. So I would be so happy if either Genevieve or Genevieve or Saul won the season. And if Genevieve wins, the female winner streak continues, which I think is a really awesome thing for Survivor.
Yeah, for sure.
Trying to say that. I like Andy. I mean, I kind of.
I love Andy.
The first episode, I was like, "Will you please get up? Will you please?" Yeah, nobody likes me. Nobody's clapping. Andy, shut up. It's just like I can see a little bit of my son in Andy, so
I can see that.
I'm rooting for the end. I feel like he's improving.
He's a good underdog.
He's doing better. I'm still laughing a couple episodes ago when the chick dropped the hidden impunity idol down a hill and made all this noise and nobody came to look, because that would have been me. That would have been me and my body tumbling down a hill dying and nobody would have checked.
I think that Sue has a winner's edit right now. We keep checking in with her with a lot of people who have a very similar story, but like you could talk to Caroline more than you're talking about Sue, but you could keep checking in with Sue. You could talk to Gabe, but you're still checking in with Sue more than you are with him. So that at least tells me she makes it to the final episode. That to me.
Is that the lady that's 45?
She's the one that is, yeah, that's one of my
younger than me.
2 years younger than you, yes. My favorite part about that is that I was like, one of these two women is 47. The other one is 45.
Look, I'm not shitting on her, but can I say something real quick? I'm not a rich person. I can't afford crazy shit, okay? But she is.
You know what's great? Is that Andy and Genevieve right now are making an alliance.
Okay?
Yes.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, whatever. And
prescribe
we'll be
more
back.
Adderall.
We'll be back next week for something. So yeah, we'll be back. Don't lose faith in us. We're coming back. So
yay. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Oh, is that a Diddy show? What is that? Hold on. What is that? Is that a diddly?
It's on Tubi.
Oh.
All right. Bye, everybody.